Hello everybody, my name is David. Thank you for joining me today. This is my question and answer video part 2. You do it every single Monday. If you missed part 1, please go back and watch it. Welcome new subscribers. Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. Please ask questions, okay? I'm answering people's questions from last week. So go down in the comment section, ask anything you want, I'll answer them next week. Let me know if I missed something or you don't understand me or I missed your question. Please keep asking me, thank you. Next question in part 2 is from Rowan. Thank you as always, Dave. And it's David. Thank you. I always discover something new and helpful when I watch your videos. You brought up 2 things I rarely hear other life coaches or trauma therapists touching on. And thank you for saying that. Thank you very much. The first is that people who have toxic disorder friends are not healthy. You can't say I'm healthy and my best friend's a narcissist. The second is don't maintain any links to the abuser. It's probable that the abuser's circle of friends are part of the whole unhealthy social system and are disordered too. Plus, why allow the abuser access to damage you? Yeah, true. And I kind of think of it as drugs, as being a drug addict and having a drug circle of friends. I've never been, but I know a lot of them. I've known a lot of them, and I know how it all works. I know that to stop a major addiction like drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, you're really going to have to evaluate every relationship that you're in, because if you've lived a whole life of being toxic, the people in your life can't be that healthy, you know. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. We evaluate our relationships. Really, you're really going to have to, and almost everybody, you know, you find this information because you've lost everything in your life, or there's a fear of losing everything in your life. Typically, that's why people, you know, you've lost your marriage, your family, your house, you know, whatever, and then they come to me or they look out here and they look for information on it finally. And then usually that doesn't happen. Most of my clients are, you know, late 30s, 40s, stuff like this. And so it takes a while to fail at everything or lose everything. And by the time you do that, you most of my clients, it's kind of the process. You realize you had a disordered partner, and then now you just learned all this stuff, and then you start realizing, oh, my friends are, I think one of my friends is a narcissist, and one of them acts like a narcissist. One of them's kind of borderline-ish, and one's real selfish and uses me, and they don't even have to have disorders. They're just toxic. They don't reciprocate, at the very least, right? They don't give back what you give, what you're putting in. And then almost always, we came from unhealthy family. That's why. And that's really hard to see, but it goes in that process, right? My loved one is disordered. Oh my God, my friends are unhealthy, sick, and using me, and toxic and controlling, and they're kind of pieces of crap and cheat on their loved ones, and and then, oh, my family, oh, my mom and dad, oh yeah, my siblings, yeah. That's usually how it goes. Thanks for sharing. Old timer something. Oh, and I see down here you're in Pole Mountain, Wyoming, I think. Maybe that's just where you're at. So here's just a story that you are telling us. I love your videos, David. They make me feel good. Thank you. Oh, Jared. My name is Jared from Wyoming. My question is, how do we express paranormal trauma without feeling crazy? Some things happen to me and I don't know how to share it with someone who won't just think I'm crazy. I recently encountered a spirit-like entity while overnight backpacking alone in Pole Mountain, Wyoming. I heard a very strange sounding thing, not an animal I know of, right before sundown on my second night there. I tried to mimic the sound, and the thing came right to my camp and started flying back and forth in front of me, screaming at me. I started praying out loud and calling on the name of Jesus. This was no animal, was invisible, and screaming like a human. I could feel it fly right over my head and in front of my face, screaming at me. I started adding all my logs onto my fire because I thought the fire would make it leave. I have never seen any wild animal that was not afraid of fire, and this thing was not at all afraid of it. This entity made me leave my camp 20 minutes before sundown, followed me all the way to the top of the ridge, where a road is and kept screaming at me and flying back and forth in front of me. I quickly ran with my backpack, unrolled sleeping bags, hammock to the road at the top of the ridge. Once I got to the road, feeling entities stopped following me, and I fast walked 3 miles in the dark all the way back to my truck without stopping once. I have never experienced anything like this, and I have been backpacking in nature all my life. It's really about maturity, you know? And anybody that laughs at people that have traumatic experiences or blames them or discounts them when you weren't there is just really immature. Really immature. You know, I've learned to accept other people's religions as I've gotten older and more mature. I've learned to accept different political views in my life as I become more mature. Acting like I know what the hell happened to you, Jared, is so incredibly ignorant, isn't it? I wasn't there, was I? How would I know? Do I know everything that happens on this planet? I'd like to think so, but I don't know crap. Okay? So, how do you recover from this experience? You said paranormal. It's not normal, is it? I hope typing this down and me just reading it to you and not having this adverse reaction you're afraid of, I hope that helps. Write your story more. Tell it more. Anonymously like this, if you want to. It's experiences that have to be okay or positive that make us get over bad experiences, okay? So, you know, if this is something that is bothering you still, try to express it more. Take it from inside to outside with a reasonable experience. So we aren't going to go tell religious people this experience unless you want them to tell you it was God. We're not going to go tell, you know, big time alien people the story. They're going to tell you it's an alien, UFO. You know what I mean? So just be selective on who you tell. Not everyone in this world is the same. We're all different. If it was traumatizing to you, I'm sorry. It sounds like it. Interesting story. And nobody tells you who you are. Nobody tells you you're crazy or anything like that. They don't know you. Good luck. Get it outside. Get the story outside. And be selective on who you tell. Sable Minor. Hello. Good advice today, but I was with my ex almost 7 years off and on, but on several occasions they bought me really thoughtful gifts as well. Supposedly heartfelt notes on Christmas, birthday cards. Is this a case of being on a spectrum? His abuse otherwise was spectacularly textbook. That's part of the game they play, doing just enough to gaslight you into thinking they really do care. It's all a goddamn joke to them, especially your feelings. I'm sorry. I really am. I'm sorry. This is why we have to accept that we're all equal, but all different. Okay? And not everybody is the same as you. Not everybody values the things that you value. So I recommend everybody know who you are really, really well. And know what you value, know what's important to you, and show this all the time. And have people in your life only that have the similar morals as you do. It's the only way it works. And so this guy doesn't. This guy abused you, and you don't abuse people, and it's wrong, right? So how do you know? You don't. You don't know. It takes a long time to get to know somebody. Huge amount of time. And the less time you take is your measure of your own self-worth. People can say what they want and do something else. That's somebody who doesn't know themselves. So that's what we watch for over time. People can say this, that's great, that's nice, and then we wait till they show it. He didn't show it. He says, I care about your feelings, and then he hurt you and made you feel bad. It takes time. That's the lesson we learned from this, isn't it? It takes a long time to get to know somebody. How long did you know them before you realized they're abusive to you? It takes at least that long to get to know someone, okay? Too often, us victims, we take people for their word because we like to feel that our word means something, but people aren't the same. And they don't have to be awful and bad and evil either. They're just different. They're unhealthy, okay? Thanks for sharing. Helena from the Netherlands. Hello. Can narcissists fall in love? I asked mine once, and he told me he never ever fell in love before. He said he doesn't ever know what it feels like. He was 35 years old, and there's lots of 35-year-old people that have never experienced love. A lot of us, I've learned. Can narcissists fall in love? I'm not going to tell people they can't. If someone tells me that they are in love with someone, who am I to argue with them? I'm not going to go test it and stuff, okay? We all have different definitions of love. So I would recommend that you know what your definition of love is, and make sure that if you love anybody else, they've got the similar definition, okay? Because I see sociopaths and psychopaths say, I love my mate, don't you tell me I don't. But people value different things. So love is more than just an emotion, more than just a feeling. I think love requires action. I think love is unconditional, not unconditional on its own, but unconditional care. And there's many more facets to love. Very, broad definition, I think. And I think people have different definitions. So instead of ignoring with instead of arguing with somebody if they love you or don't, what I get to do with clients is I find out what they value, and then I show them that the person you're with doesn't value the same things. And I show them that they probably really didn't love them. A lot of toxic relationships are about chemical dependency, hormonal addiction, not knowing who we are. Yeah, I wish I could just tell you they don't love, but I'll tell you, they don't love the way I love. They probably don't love the way you love. Thanks. Betsy. Hi, Betsy. If I remember, you're from Mexico. Yeah, I think you are. I don't see it here. You said, the thing is, he hasn't appeared in May. It will be a year since I told him to not come near our daughter if he doesn't pay what he owes and an apology for our daughter. Legally, I can't ask for anything. Neither can he, because he never gave her his last name. I mean, I registered her as a single mother. Fortunately, we never got married because he punished me, because when she was born, he had sent us to hell a month before, and I didn't tell him she was born. So I just know she's better off without him. I was just having lots of weird thoughts, but I know I'm now stronger and safe where I am now. He knows I would call the police if I see him near home. I also know he is a coward. Thank you, David. I listen and try to learn from all questions and answers. Thank you very much, Betsy. I believe children are better off without disordered parents, especially in the cluster B. That's my opinion. I don't think that we have to have both parents in that situation. And I'm not a parent, and I don't want to get in an argument. You believe differently. That I understand. I respect that. I just because people say, well, a child needs a father. Well, not a father that abuses them or neglects them or is in and out of their life. Stuff like this. No, they don't. No, they don't. I've seen many situations where the child would have been just better if the parent had passed away right when they were born. And just all they had to be told was, hey, your parent passed away when you were born. That'd be so much better than all the ins and outs and abuse and neglect and yeah. You said you're better off. Good. Marilia from Greece. Hello. I'm doing even better every month. Good. Could you please elaborate on emotional flashbacks and how to tackle them? I'm still being triggered by places or movies or music bands that I've been or watched or listened to with the guy who emotionally abused me. I want to reach a peaceful state where my teeth don't stand on edge with all this. Okay, so specifically with a relationship, an abusive, traumatic relationship you just had, okay? And so we identify these things, these horrible, traumatic emotional experiences. We might identify them with the places we're at or that you ate, things that you associate with him or the relationship. I get that. So we can avoid some of these things for a while, okay? The idea is to heal from this relationship. Heal. Learn, understand, grow, and try not to do it by yourself, okay? So the more you feel better about this relationship, the triggers subside. Okay? We also push ourselves a little bit. Another way to get over triggers is to push ourselves and do things anyways. Oh, the movie theater always reminds me of him. I can't drive by it. Go to a movie with a good friend and have a good time, and those memories become less and less and less. Okay? We go, when you think about the movie theaters, we think about the last time we're there. That's how it works, okay? Also, experiences you have, you've got to have a good, healthy attitude. Start having a better attitude. And we're not minimizing them. The more we understand and learn and heal and grow, we understand that it wasn't all our fault. We're internalizing it, that it usually wasn't as scary as we thought. We blow things up bigger. And so we tell ourselves we're going to be okay. We tell ourselves we're going to heal from this and not listen to our depressed mind and critic tell us otherwise. That's why we don't do this alone. So you need to heal from the original trauma, okay? Heal from the original trauma and then make new memories at these places, things, sounds. Do them again and have just okay outcomes. You'll be okay, all right? Good luck. Get help. Return to basic something, and I told you this was the longest question I've ever seen, and I hope you aren't offended. I hope, but it really is. Your question was 16 screenshots. So I'm going to try and shorten it. I don't think I can read all of this. David, I just found your channel today and subbed so I don't miss any new videos. You have a ton of great videos going back a couple of years that I've been browsing through. Thank you very much, and welcome to the channel. Thank you. My question has a little bit of a background story with it. First, I married my husband 5 years ago, who is the love of my life. I have a feeling they're not the love of your life. I haven't read this yet, but I have a feeling they're actually not the love of your life. He said, he's the whole world to me. I believe that. I believe that one. Unfortunately, he came with a side of his very toxic mother who we live with. Then he's not healthy. Especially if you're having to deal with her. Because if I had a really, really, really toxic wife, or if I had a really, really toxic mom, I promise, whoever my future wife is out there, I promise you will never have to deal with my toxic family, ever. Never. Because I don't. A year ago, I found myself in the hospital, cardiac unit, for several days following near non-existence potassium and very low magnesium. Yeah, you can die from that. I was in a hypertensive crisis with very high blood pressure, racing heart, chest pain, short of breath, pre-syncope, near fainting, and a whole bunch of other symptoms. I had many different tests, including an echo, but see, we don't need all this information. Sonograms, MRIs, etc. During those days, my mother-in-law was specifically asked not to come see me, and my husband refused to tell her anything other than what hospital I was at. Do you see how it's your husband's fault? Of course, she's going to do what she wants because she wants to against the wishes of others. Then we don't tell her anything. Like all narcissists do. Once she found me, she didn't find you. Your husband told her where you were. She started by telling me that I took her 45 minutes of running around the hospital to hunt me down. She proceeded to tell me, look at you laying there all day while me at nearly 3/4 of a century old is out working and freezing cold. You're in your 30s and you shouldn't ever be here. I did my best not to answer her questions with any sort of details, and 15 minutes later she left. What was your husband doing during that time? Because I know what the hell I would do. Needless to say, this sort of behavior continued after I got home until my husband told her to leave me alone. Don't even speak to me. That was very refreshing while it lasted. So he tried to throw up some boundaries. Felt good. Until we realized he doesn't have boundaries. As a result of being ill, I have now been diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, tachycardia, bradycardia, and PVCs. I likely also have either postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome or orthostatic hypotension as well, but that's not been diagnosed yet. I went from a very active person doing yard work to be pretty sedentary. The summer heat makes me sick, so I need to stay cool, which generally means staying indoors. And I just got to say that a lot of these symptoms come from long periods of trauma and stress, CPTSD. Most people that find themselves in relationships like you're in have CPTSD. CPTSD, lifelong, from your childhood, makes us pump adrenaline out, cortisol, to be able to lift cars and get ourselves out of danger. But you don't. You stay in it, and you just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it until you have fatigue. Just saying. I'm not saying that's you. I'm not a doctor either, especially. But I'm just saying very, very common. And when you get away from these neglectful, abusive relationships, yeah, we start to feel better finally. Just throwing that out there. Early this year, she retired from a job, and for the first 3 months of 2020, she refused to leave the house for any reason. Once the COVID-19 pandemic orders for everyone to stay home went into effect, she finds any excuse to leave the house at least once a day to get to groceries. My husband and I planned ahead and insist there is nothing we need from the store, but if someone needs to go shopping once a week is realistic. But she will not stay home. She doesn't have to. Let her do what she wants. When she is home, I get constant degrading. So I missed that. Did you say that? You said she just refused to leave the house. I was wondering if she lives with you. Maybe I said that earlier and I missed it. I don't think you said that. But you said, when she is home, I get constant degrading. Why? I hope you're not living with her. Everything I took stinks. Ugh, it's just awful. I'll try to skip the more specific examples here, or we'll be here all day. Yeah, we're only here half the day. Since she retired, she seems to believe that she doesn't have to do anything around the house anymore. Okay, so she does live with you. I run the vacuum, do dishes, scoop cat litter, move her laundry, put her groceries away, etc. While outside, my husband gets the mail, mows the grass, takes care of down. Why? Why do you do all this for her? Are you going to say she makes you? You get the picture here. Especially after retiring, she believes that my sole purpose for existing is to tend to her. I'm not her personal maid. I am here because I love my husband. But if she doesn't witness me doing something every day, I get the you're lazy, you're only possibly sick because you never do anything. Yesterday she told me, I want you to plant my flowers. So she's abusing you. I mean, I want you to plant my flowers. I'm going to get 2 flats and you are going to plant them. This is while I made myself breakfast. We told her last year that we are both done planting a gazillion flowers for her. If she wants them planted, she can do it herself. I entertained her on her thoughts of where to plant them, but did not agree to do what she asked. It's passive aggressive. Now, because we want to limit social contact from shopping, since we don't know whether I'm immune compromised or not, we decided to order our groceries for delivery for the first time ever. We haven't shopped in nearly 3 weeks. So you're just giving me tons and tons of examples, aren't you? Because of the chronic illness, I struggle every day. This is quite a task. By some time I put a fresh pizza. She just arrived. So you just don't have boundaries. Okay? That's what this is. You say you don't want to do something and then you do it anyways. It's that simple. You don't have boundaries. Boundaries are a measure of self-worth. She immediately started with, is that a pizza I bought? Are you using the one that I got for him? Isn't that great that I got it? I had 2 options here. Lie and say, yes, it was. Yeah, this is too many examples. Unbelievable. I can't believe you paid to have groceries delivered. She's now ragging on you for having... You paid for groceries to be delivered. You must have a lot of extra money laying around to do that. Such a waste. You two make some really awful decisions. Then why is she there? Get rid of her. I ended up saying nothing as usual. I don't want to argue. Boundaries. Boundaries. We don't need to argue. Boundaries don't need to be argued. I'm sorry. If we don't have boundaries and we don't know how to communicate, our parents didn't teach us. And we've got to raise our self-worth to make boundaries stick. I can tell people not to do that to me, please, but if I don't really believe I'm worth it, people know, and they do it anyways. People will always test your boundaries. I don't want to argue. I don't like it. Plus, that's what she wants. Yeah, you're not arguing. You're just telling her no. She's the one trying to argue. Conversation over. I don't know if I'm immune compromised and this was our decision. That didn't even affect her at all. But I still have to hear her opinions. You don't have to do anything. Tell her to stop talking. Tell her to leave. You leave. Get a new house. Go get an apartment by yourself and leave them both there. I still have to hear opinions and tempted guilt trips. No, you don't. You know this elderly woman who is trying her best to get COVID-19. There's been plenty of other examples I could detail here, like now how she's getting involved with my leg getting broke 3 years ago, my husband ending up in the ICU after she surprisingly shared a stomach flu with him, or how cruel she was to me when she was sick a few months ago and needed my help and paramedics to get her out of the bathtub after she ignored me telling her not to get into the tub. She wouldn't put any clothes on or cover up, and then insulted. Okay. We know she's narcissistic, but also question if she's got early signs of dementia. I've ended up being her #1 punching bag. So here's my question. What can I do better to deal with her childish outbursts? I'm not telling you how to take abuse better. And I'm going to tell you need boundaries, but I can't just tell you how. That stuff I do with my clients could take hours, could take days, could take weeks, could take months, could take years. So I don't think I need to read anymore. No. I have to field her BS. I have about 4 hours a day to do what I needed to do and cannot keep doing for her. She is physically able-bodied, just feels entitled. Any advice for someone with chronic illness who is forced to be around a narcissist day in and day out? Exhaustedly tired. You are not forced. You are not forced. This sounds like CPTSD, and it sounds like you feel hopelessness and helplessness, and this started when you were a baby. Your parents ignored you, they neglected you, so that you became traumatized. And we never removed ourselves from these situations. We never removed ourselves from danger. This is emotionally dangerous, and you're sitting in it, saying, I have to take it. That means you feel helpless and hopeless, and you don't know how to get out or make it stop. And it's as simple as standing up and walking out the door with your stuff if you want it, and not coming back. I know that sounds simple, and I'm sure it'd be extremely difficult for you. But this wouldn't be that extremely difficult for a lot of other people. If you can't make it stop, get help. You need help anyways. You're so worth it. Your husband is worthless. Worthless. Anyone that allows this woman to treat somebody he says he loves like this, I call BS. He may be in love with you, but he's not showing it. And that's where I call BS. If you don't show love and you're just saying it, and you're letting people abuse, no, dude, There's things seriously wrong with your husband. Seriously wrong. Your husband needs a lot of help. And I hope that you believe that you're worth a hell of a lot more than your husband sitting around watching his woman abuse you. For some reason, you believe your worth isn't more than that. You need to get away from her. There's no way of dealing with her. You get her out of the house or you leave. She's too old. She's not going to change, nor does she want to. So you want me to tell you how to deal with abuse better. I'm not. Get out and make it stop. And if you can't, get somebody to help you. Just like that, okay? Good luck. Awful situation. This stuff is killing you. And I have a feeling it started with your parents. I think they've been killing you since you're younger. And doctors don't know exactly what's wrong with you. Usually when physical doctors don't know what's wrong with you, it's too often it's emotional, psychological. And they can't see it in a test or an x-ray or, They understand medicine. Get help. You need help. Your husband needs help, and they need to be separate. You guys don't even bother. I mean, marriage counseling, I don't know. I don't know if this marriage can work, but it will never work with that woman anywhere near the two of you. Anywhere near the two of you. Can't even be around him, because he obviously does. He obviously grew up with that. Oh my. And he lets it happen to you. You deserve better. I'd get rid of both of them, but you do what you got to do. I'm very sorry. Awful situation. But if you get the help that you need, this will all feel better. Okay? And you're worth it. You aren't worth taking this crap. And I'm so sorry you feel so awful. Start taking care of yourself by getting rid of things in your life that feel bad. Okay? Get rid of the stress. Get rid of it. Go get your own place. I don't care. You tell your husband goodbye, and you can come with me if you get the help you need, because being raised by that woman, he needs help. Good luck. And I'm going to start part 2 here. This has gone a little further than I thought. So there's going to be a part 3. Thanks, guys. If you can, love yourself first. And if anybody wants help, I coach and I'm taking clients right now. DavidDemars.com. Thanks. See you in part 3. Bye.